Now, preface, this might be a controversial topic.
You think that you know, like, oh, I know what some bad opinions about Taylor Swift are, do you? Not until you press play on Phone a Snake, baby. You knew you were wrong. You sent it in to be spicy. There's no way a real human being walking this planet has that opinion.
We didn't come out of the womb saying, Taylor, we don't like this song. Oh, no, 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 no. We were doing the pile-ons. I was doing I Hate Katy Perry. Because of Taylor Swift. For that reason alone. I said, you crossed her, you're the devil. Welcome back to Evolution of a Snake. I'm Zach.
And I'm Madeline.
And we are back with a much beloved segment of your favorite podcast, Phone a Snake. This is where you call in and you tell us things. And today we've asked you to tell us your most hideous, heinous, unpopular Taylor Swift opinions. And last time they silenced us, Madeline.
They always silence us. I'm sorry. Every single time. I've been silent every single time. You think that you know, like, oh, I know what some bad opinions about Taylor Swift are, do you? Not until you press play on Phone a Snake, baby. Nope.
You go into our voicemail and you see what horrors belie you. Things of note, well, if you want an extra hour of Phone a Snake, literally, I guess, actually right now, because by the time this is up, it'll already be up. You can go to patreon.com/Swiftologist, baby. Every week, episode for you. And in case you're unfamiliar, we are going on tour, Snares tour. We are going to New York, Boston, DC, Atlanta, Nashville, Madison, Chicago, San Francisco, Seattle, LA. If you can't come there because it's sold out, go to evolutionofasnake.com, get your tickets now, or we will kill you.
Yep, and it won't be pretty.
Nope, lots of blood all over the news. As lifelong scholars of pop culture, we know there's nothing quite like seeing your favorite artist live. The energy, the spectacle, the screaming.
When it comes to getting tickets, we trust SeatGeek. It's the #1 rated ticketing app, and it made getting our Eras Tour tickets totally stress-free.
Right now, you can grab tickets to Beyonce, Sabrina Carpenter, Tate McRae, and more.
Use code SNAKE10 for 10% off your next SeatGeek purchase. Just click the link in the description to download the app.
Thank you so much to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode of Evolution of a Snake. All right, this one actually really intrigued me. I was going to save this for the paywall, but you know what? Let's let the pros have a little something.
Hey, Snakes, my unpopular opinion is that Taylor is still obsessed with Kim Kardashian and writes about her and hates her to this day because we hate the people the most that remind us of like the worst and most annoying parts of ourselves. Like, you know, when you hate somebody and you just realize like, oh, the reasons I hate them is just because it's like they remind me of the cringiest parts of myself. That is Kim to Taylor, okay? Pathological people pleaser. They change their entire sense of fashion whenever they're with a new guy. They are both billionaires. Yuck. They both crave fame, and you know, Kim is like more overt about it in a certain way. You know, Taylor obviously has like a bigger talent, but they both want that with I die if I make it, die if it happened to me. Like those are twin flames right there.
Very interesting take. The first distinction I would make is that I think Kim craves attention and Taylor craves acclaim.
Yeah, I don't think Kim really cares about being seen as one of the greats of all time. Except for fashion. I do think that she wants to be considered very fashionable and like an icon of fashion. Otherwise, there's nothing about her that gives, I want to be seen as the most awarded, accoladed artiste of all time. No. I don't see that.
Well, didn't the whole meme of not bad for a girl with no talent literally start from Kim?
No, she
Isn't
knows
that
who
where
she
it
is.
started?
She's
the girl with no talent. That's her.
She knows
not
exactly
bad
who she
for
is.
a girl with no talent. They are both driven, I would say, they're both very materialistic in the sense that they want power and social capital. Like, I think they both want to be very relevant for different reasons. Kim's bids at becoming relevant are becoming even more humiliating by the day. She's lying down in her Cybertruck with a space robot and taking photos for her Instagram. Meanwhile, Taylor Swift was on the Eras tour. So, like,
Yeah, I think that Kim has been lost in the sauce. I think Kim is lost to us. She's deep in the desert, and we're never going to see the Kim Kardashian of, I don't know, 2013, 2014 ever again. Does that sound like something you want? You're never going to get it. Meanwhile, Taylor has only continued to climb.
And I would not call them twin flames because I think twin flames have like an identical soul, right? They have some sort of like kindred spirit that is very meaningful. I think if anything, Kim is like Taylor's shadow, like a bad shadow that she really wants to try and avoid. I don't think that they have a lot in common because Kim is not a creative. She's not a dreamer. She's not an innovator, whereas Taylor Swift is all those things.
I think Kim thinks that she's an innovator, and that's the of it all. And that is
and
truly
in some respects, you know, Lumi selfie phone case light, innovator. Innovator. Kim Kardashian Hollywood app, innovator, question mark,
Kimoji.
skims, Kimoji. I mean, she has done her fair share of like stunts to get attention and to get ahead. But I don't know. I think it is interesting to think of them as like linked somehow. And that like there was a period of time, I guess, when Taylor also really thought that Kim Kardashian was cool. And there was definitely a period of time where Kim Kardashian had more social capital than Taylor.
Well, there was a time when she was cool. Taylor was right about that. There was a time when they were trying to tell me we have to champion Kim Kardashian as a feminist icon. Do you remember that? I will never forget all you people who tried to make me consider Kim Kardashian a feminist icon. I will never forget.
They said it's not feminist to judge Kim for what she does. And it's like, it's not about judging her for what she does. It's about judging her for the evil that she has bestowed onto the world.
And it continues, and the evil never ends. Do you see how that works?
She's out here getting, you know, in love with an Elon Musk robot. I mean, what's to respect about this?
Yeah, it's very unrespectable. I disrespect it, as a matter of fact. I disrespect it.
I
highly disrespectable.
Respect it. Why don't we go to one that I think people in Madeline's household will definitely agree with?
Hey guys, just wanted to say love y'all, and I will be seeing you guys in Nashville. Okay, but anyways, my unpopular Taylor Swift opinion is that I Can See You off of Speak Now is objectively her best vault track that's out right now. I'm willing to sneak in Babe. I can't wait to hear y'all's reaction to that. And yeah, love you guys.
And no explanation, just reputation.
No, and then she cackled like she knew she was doing something wrong.
This is like the person that said that Me was Taylor's best song.
And you know what? They knew what they were doing. Babe and I Can See You, best vault songs. You knew you were wrong. You sent it in to be spicy. There's no way a real human being walking this planet has that opinion. And I'm going to let you rock. There's only one human being on earth who has that opinion, and his name is Mason. And he wouldn't listen to Babe, though.
Song ever made.
He drives the line. He drives the line at Babe. Okay, he's listening to I Can See You. That's his favorite track ever. Babe,
it starts and stops there.
I don't think so.
I like Babe just as much as any other red girly, but you know, best vault tracks. I mean, also the thing that got me here was objectively the best. I would say by all measures, I Can See You is nowhere near objectively the best. I would say it's objectively one of the worst vault tracks. What does I Can See You reveal to us about Speak Now?
Nothing I already knew. There's a reason they chopped it off. That's one of those songs, it's one of those vault tracks where it's like, it was cut off and you say exactly, and I know exactly why it was, because we didn't need to be doing this, and nobody wanted to hear it.
It hoodwinked me when I heard it for the first time because it doesn't sound like a Speak Now song. Like I was not expecting to hear something like that.
No, it's a little too, it's more red to me than it is Speak Now. I get that it has like that kind of like rock sort of a vibe that was on Speak Now, but like otherwise, like the tone, the theming, what it's actually about, how she's singing, none of it really gives Speak Now at all. It sounds
and lyrically, it doesn't stand up to the worst songs on Speak Now. Superman clears I Can See You lyrically. That's saying a lot.
Clears. Well,
that's saying a lot coming from me. What would you say is objectively the best vault song?
Of all time?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to. It's like you have to say All Too Well 10. Is that my personal one? Well, no.
If we put her aside, I would kind of go between Nothing New and Foolish One.
Yeah, I think Nothing New. I think Better Man. Nothing New, Better Man, Foolish One. Maybe Is It Over Now? Slut. These are great
like
songs.
All of them, basically.
These are great songs.
They're all amazing. Objectively the best songs ever.
Yep.
And that's
on that.
Period. That's literally on period. Yep. Why don't we go to something about Madeline's favorite album?
Hey, Zach. Hey, Madeline. I'm a huge fan of you guys' podcast. I hope you guys keep up the good work. My unpopular opinion is that I don't care about Reputation, and it's actually bottom three in her discography. I am not really excited for Reputation's Heroes version. The only songs I want to hear are Ready for It, Don't Blame Me, Look What You Made Me Do, Getaway Car, Dancing with Our Hands Tied, and This Is How We Can Have Nice Things. And I literally do not care about the rest of the album. And maybe Dress.
So half
I'm
the album.
also
So half
just
the
looking
album.
forward to the vault tracks at this point. I just don't really find myself listening to Reputation all that much, and I think she's just done better. I honestly think Cruel Summer alone makes Lover way better. So that's my unpopular opinion. Love you guys. Bye.
You see how that doesn't work?
He said, "I don't really care about it," and then he said, "You know what I love? I love Getaway Car, Dress, Call It What You
Songs
Want,
off the
New Year's Day. I love pretty much like half the
whole
album."
record.
So he just didn't. What didn't he say? He didn't say Endgame.
He
He
didn't
didn't say
He didn't
New Year's
say.
Day. He didn't say.
Did he say "Look What You Made Me Do"?
He did. Yes. No. He said the whole album. He said the whole thing. Lest we forget,
He didn't say
Reputation
"So It
is one of
Goes."
her shorter records. It's only like
Yeah,
14
it
tracks
is.
long, right?
15, I think. Very short.
So what are you talking about?
You
That
love
was
it.
just a case
Really,
of,
what you're saying is you
no,
love
what you're saying is
Reputation.
I love Reputation, and nobody's told you that yet, but you do. It's actually like
That's
one of
what I
your
heard.
favorite albums of all time. That's literally what I'm hearing.
And you're
It's
not
not my
excited
fault.
for Reputation vault tracks? Well,
Well,
you're
that's
on your own,
weird.
kid.
Who's not excited for the vault tracks? If you were like,
Of any
I'm not
album.
excited for the Taylor's version, neither am I, girl. Join the club. But if you're saying I'm not excited for the vault tracks, that doesn't make any gosh darn sense. It doesn't make any
That
sense.
You don't
want to hear the you don't want to hear the B-sides?
Mm-mm. You know what? While we're on the topic, let's go to another question about Reputation, actually.
Hi, okay, my name is August, and I'm going to be sharing my unpopular Taylor Swift opinion. I think the Reputation era was wasted on like revenge narratives. I think the album had incredible love songs, Call It What You Want, Delicate, but I feel like the marketing focused too much on drama and feuds rather than like its deeper themes of rebirth and like identity. Because I swear, there are so many annoying young 50s thinking they're a baddie when they listen to the album and when they say that Reputation is their favorite album. And that's all because Miss Americana lied to us. The documentary. It's the biggest manipulation I think Taylor ever gave us. And yeah, that's my popular Taylor Swift opinion.
This is giving I don't understand the concept of Reputation.
This is honestly quieting me. Like, isn't that the whole point? The whole point is you think it's going to be about Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, and then you go into it and it's a love story. So who are you talking to?
What's the point then?
Who
I mean,
were they just
also,
talking to?
The
Did
thing with
anybody hear that?
Reputation- The thing with Reputation is that it had to be marketed like that because, and
Right.
see, this is you're talking about the young Swifties, but I know you weren't there when Reputation came out because there was no other way that she could have marketed this album and have it had been a success. She was up against a wall. She was backed into a corner. This was the extreme receipts tea era. Like the only way that Taylor was ever going to be able to have a comeback that wasn't immediately pummeled for being like lame or her trying to ignore anything was to address it directly head on. And that's exactly what she did. And it's part of the love story. The love story doesn't exist without the revenge, without the downfall, without the vengeance. It doesn't compute.
Well, it's inextricable. That's what they don't get. They don't even know that. That's a big one. You got to look it up in the dictionary. I'm just kidding. Sorry. That came out. I was watching.
She had to do it.
The
She had
Judge
to do it.
Judy. I've been watching some Judge Judy clips, and that's like how she talks. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry.
Madeline's
That
in
was
her
rude.
Judge Judy
I
bag.
take it back. I take it back. And it wasn't to you specifically, the caller. It was just like generally. I was being lame. But anyway, in any event, it's inextricable. You can't take it away.
But that's the aesthetic of the album as well. Like, what would you like instead? But I mean, the baddie aesthetic is like 90% of why Reputation like slays the house down boots, of course. And if the girls are saying, I love to be a baddie because I like Reputation, you're right. And you should say it.
Yeah, I don't really see that. You know who was a baddie? That girl that we saw in Chicago who had the Reputation.
Oh, the best
I think about that all the time.
custom-made bodysuit. She did the
Must be
Ready for a
nice.
bodysuit in a way
Must
that
be
no one else
nice.
has done it.
Yeah, it was
She had
like
the hair perfect.
It was
lip
really
color,
flawless. She really looked like
perfect.
Taylor. I was like, wow. Anyway, and then there was
I was
me.
almost like, can we get a picture with her? Can we take a picture with you, please,
Yeah,
Taylor?
and then I was sitting there in my stupid little fearless outfit. I was like, okay.
Mm-mm. Can't be
Mm-mm.
doing that. What do you mean, stupid little fearless outfit? We looked like
No, we did
supermodels and
boots.
superstars.
We did boots. We bootsed. We
We
bootsed.
bootsed it. Our 13s may have been a little diseased and a little
they were
haggard,
great.
but
They were great.
that's part of the fun. That's part of the experience.
That's part of the experience.
As lifelong scholars of pop culture, we know that there's nothing more electrifying than seeing our favorite artists live. The energy, the spectacle, the screaming. There's truly nothing like being in an arena full of fans, all there for the exact same reason.
And listen, we're not just pop culture obsessives, we're also Swifties, which means we take ticketing very seriously. We all remember how chaotic it was trying to get Eras Tour tickets. Truly an unforgettable moment in history.
Luckily for us, we used SeatGeek, the sponsor of today's video, to secure our Eras Tour tickets with minimal stress. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app with over 28 million downloads, and it made the whole process of buying tickets super smooth and easy for us.
Right now, you can grab tickets to Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tour, Sabrina Carpenter's fall shows, Tate McRae's So Close to What tour, and so much more. I love SeatGeek because it makes finding the best tickets completely effortless. Just open the app, scroll through upcoming events near you, and grab seats in just a few taps.
And SeatGeek helps you make the best choice by rating every ticket on a scale of 1 to 10, so you always know that you're getting a great deal. Just look for the green dots. Green means go, and red means maybe keep looking.
And of course, we've got you covered. Use code SNAKE10 for 10% off your next SeatGeek purchase.
That's 10% off tickets with promo code SNAKE10. Click the link in the description to download the app, and your discount will be automatically added to your account.
Thank you so much to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's episode.
All right. Let's go with really just unpopular stuff. Hateful
Hey,
opinions.
Snakes. So, my unpopular opinion is that I'm not a big fan of Tavis. And, of course, I mean, like, I don't really care who she dates. I just want her to, be happy in her relationship or get good music out of it. And, yeah, the men in her life, they are not, I'm not, like, deeply affected by who she dates, of course, but I just don't think Travis is a good match for her. I just think she's a bit too intelligent for him. I know that's a bit mean to say, but I mean, she said it herself. You know how to ball, I know Aristotle. So I just can't imagine the two of them having a productive conversation.
I don't think that Taylor really knows Aristotle, if I can
Do you
speak
know
my
what?
truth.
I was just thinking.
Taylor, give me one quote from Aristotle. She
It
don't
rhymes.
know.
Baby,
she
it
don't
rhymes.
know.
You know how to ball. I know Aristotle. Who else
Exactly.
She couldn't say Plato. She couldn't
couldn't
say
say
Sylvia
Thomas
Plath.
Aquinas.
She couldn't say Emily
Rousseau.
Dickinson. Thomas Aquinas. You just pulled that name right out of
There you go.
there.
Well, since we're
just
talking
know
about
Thomas Aquinas.
philosophers.
She didn't know Thomas Aquinas.
Mm-mm.
Hearing you know how to ball, I know Aristotle out of context, every time I hear it, I'm like, I can't believe that hasn't gone down in history.
It's one of the worst lyrics ever. It is. I'm sorry. I don't care how cute you find it. It's shockingly
Taylor
bad.
Swift lyrics. It's like when I'm listening to the song, I don't think that, but hearing it said was just kind of like, And I feel
it's like
because
the shade lyric from Paris. When
we
you
have
read
so
it
much-
out.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
we have so much like Tavis optimism that I feel like nobody's talking about that. The day might come where a new day dawns, and we might be thinking about you know how to ball. I know Aristotle a little bit differently.
I also think that "Touch Me While You're Bros" play Grand Theft Auto is horrendous.
And they're not saying it.
There's a lot of
We're not
silencing
allowed to say
lines in
it.
So High School, and when we're looking at what's the quality of the music going to be like, well, if this is the level we're playing on, I'm inclined to say, well,
yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'm not really sure
time to
about
write
that.
the political album.
Yeah, let's just. I would take.
Let's do the Roe v. Wade album.
You know how to ball. I know Aristotle over Taylor trying to do Roe v. Wade on an album any day. Give it to me more. Grant, you know how to ball. I know Aristotle. Take it away, sister. I'm listening.
You're the finest. I know Thomas Aquinas. We want it. We have been waiting for this.
Exactly.
I think in terms of I think that Taylor is too intelligent for Travis. That is funny to me because I don't think that like in a relationship, often opposites attract, right? Like you don't need to be on the exact same plane as your partner for it to be a good relationship for you. And also when Taylor has tried to date smart in the past, how has that gone for her?
Exactly. And how'd that work out? Did you get the girl? Did you get the guy? Did you get the house?
She said, "Can you match my freak?" And they said, "Hold my purse." And then
I'll be
immediately
freakier.
She's down bad crying.
I'll be freakier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think it's really interesting when people say Taylor is too smart for Travis. It's like, who are you? First of all, who are you to say that? Second of all, that's not really how it works. You know
That's
what I
not how
mean?
love
Like that's
works.
not how relationships really work. Like you don't
You can fall
if
in
you,
love with the biggest dum-dum ever.
right. These people who go into relationships with like a checklist, this is why you have no relationship. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Gag them.
You see
Gag
one of
them a little
these, you
bit.
don't have
Clear
one of
with the-
these, okay? And there's a reason.
There you
But I'm
go.
just
Let the
saying,
married woman
these-
speak. Oh, now the talking married woman is going to preach.
Oh, now the talking ring is going to preach to us.
Well, and you should say it. I think you
Yep.
should. Here
That's just
is
my
another
onion.
call for something that we were talking about earlier today, actually, Ms.
Hey guys,
Madeline.
Michelle, your bell. Can't wait to meet you on the tour in NYC. Unpopular opinion, it was really that Taylor didn't show up to the iHeartRadio Awards. I mean, you know how many thousands and thousands of fans and hours voted and took time out of their lives just to see a glimpse of her on the red carpet or at the awards show. I understand it's not that big of a deal, but I'm feeling kind of sad, kind of pissed, kind of angry, all the feelings. Love you.
And you had the misfortune of setting in a question of something that we had just been talking about. Sincerely, like I just said that there are people on TikTok going postal that Taylor didn't show up to the iHeartRadio Awards. Let me tell you something right here and now, ladies and gentlemen. You never would have survived. Not in my world. Not in my
The
world.
flower
You never would have
wall-
survived Reputation.
The flower wall of
You
2017.
never would have survived all the things that we have been through to get to this point. Haven't you seen the girly enough? When's it ever going to be enough? When's it ever going to be enough? Is she not allowed to take a sabbatical?
She was just at the Grammys like a month ago,
She
basically.
was literally just there. And she gave us Mirrorball.
These
Nobody
delusions.
says thank you. Nobody says thank
These
you.
delusions that people are having of where Taylor is going to go to the red carpet. First of all, she barely ever walks a carpet. Barely.
Right.
If she's attending something flop like the iHeartRadio Music Awards, she's showing up and sitting in her seat and getting escorted out before the show's over. This is not the Grammys. This is not the VMAs. It's very clear that Taylor is in break mode. That was clear at the Grammys. If you really thought that she was going to show up at the iHeartRadio Awards and announce debutation, I'm sorry, that's on you. That is 100% on you. There was nothing indicating otherwise. Also, the fans who spent hours voting for the iHeartRadio Awards. Oh, great.
Not me.
More trash drop shipped to her house. Oh, another 20 iHeartRadio Awards. Great. Out in the back with my Teen Choice Awards surfboard.
Yeah, where are all these awards going? There has to be a warehouse. Because they're not going in her home.
Hours voting. If you spent hours voting so that Taylor could win an iHeartRadio Award, well, you deserve to suffer.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. You really, you get what you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow.
Set yourself up in such a big way. And this is why we don't do the math. We don't do the nonsense. There were people in our own Discord trying to convince me that I was wrong and that Taylor was going to attend the iHeartRadio Awards. I said, not only is she not announcing debutation, she's not going. She's not going to show up. Why would she?
I knew that from day one. I knew that from day one. Why would she? When she's on every single piece of thing, not every single piece of thing, but every single thing that we've seen of her has indicated to us that she's not doing it. She's not doing it. She's not showing up. She's not being,
She's
the
walking
monster
backwards
on the hill.
out of the car. She doesn't want to be seen at the moment. And the only time she has ever announced stuff at award shows, BTW, this is a new development in the Taylor Swift world, is at something consequential, at like an award show that is important that people watch. The VMAs or the Grammys are the only award shows that anyone GAF about in 2025. So if you thought she was going to show up to the iHeartRadio Awards and give them the debutation scoop, that's on you.
That is honestly on you. I don't even know what to say to you. It's crazy. And why do you think that you are like owed Taylor going to an award show? I'm not even somebody who says stuff like this, but like, come on, girls. The Eras Tour just ended.
It literally
Torture
just
Poets
stopped.
only came out last year. You guys are acting like you've been in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. I know it's Lent, but you need to gather yourselves because this is crazy.
They're not going to be able to handle it when she really goes ghost. And when she goes ghost, it's cricket. She's silent.
Yeah, she won't talk to us at all. And you know what? I'm saying some people need to experience that because they're acting up in ways that are shocking and sinister to me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. Well, let's get into another question. Speaking of torture poets.
Hey, Snakes. Love you guys. Love everything you do. Keep on rocking. My unpopular opinion is that I think the next Taylor album is not going to do as well as the Tortured Poets Department, just because now Taylor's not really out in the public eye as much, and she's not on everybody's mind as much. And when she puts out this new album, if she doesn't do like a press release for it, I just don't think it's going to do as well, because I think the casuals will not be streaming it as much because there might not be as much hype around it. And that's my unpopular opinion. Thanks.
It's wrong. It's wrong.
Here's the thing. I think it's so interesting because I don't think I have not heard somebody say it's not gonna do well since like Fearless Taylor's version. It's like, who's thinking that?
Who's thinking that this isn't going to do good? I mean, first of all, it's an imaginary project that doesn't exist. Let's start there. Let's start there. Second of all, people forget the power of silence. You know what's more powerful than blasting your name everywhere, all over the radio station, being on every news show for 2 years? What's more powerful than that is being the HBIC, being the monster on the hill, going silent for a number of months, and returning back with a project about your new boyfriend. Are you really saying to me that people aren't going to be interested in that?
It doesn't make any sense to me. And the thing is, like, it's such a low bar to clear for Taylor. What is success? You know what I mean? Taylor will sell 1 million copies in the first week, no matter what. No matter what it is. After Midnights, she could sell anything. I'm telling you, she could sell
clear
a flip
every
flop.
other release in the calendar
so it doesn't
year.
really matter.
The only person she might not outpace is herself, and at that point, it's like, well, what's the point then? If this new record that doesn't exist happened to come out with a #1 smash hit too, well, then maybe it would clear Tortured Poets Department.
Maybe if she had the hits, because that's one thing Tortured Poets did not have, were the hits.
The hits in our heart,
hits, oh, girls, sure. And it could be. My theory for the next record, whenever that may be, like fall 2025 or 2026, whenever, I think that it would be a more concise pop record. That's my best guess. If I had to guess anything, that's what it would be. So I'm ready and I'm seated and I have my popcorn out, but I'm waiting because I'm willing to wait for the juicy content. I don't just want slop poured on my doorstep. Some of these people want the slop. They want the iHeartRadio Awards, not me.
They want Thank You, Amy and Cassandra Medley live at the iHeartRadio Awards. Yeah. And they want the next lead single from the project to be Robin.
And that's not my reality. Not in my world. Not in the world I'm living in. No.
It could literally never, ever, ever, ever be me. All right, let's get into another unpopular opinion.
Hi, Snakes. It's Mimi. Love the Patreon. Hope you guys are doing well. So, my unpopular opinion really has more to do with Taylor Swift fans than it does with her. I feel like I noticed this in 2024, but it's probably been happening way before that the Taylor Swift commentary and criticism is like it's so hard to find unbiased or like non-skewed opinions now, just because I think it may have something to do with the difference between how private Taylor is about her personal life now, at least, with how confessional her songwriting is and how relatable it can be. So people really can project onto her, and a lot of the times, like, this can manifest itself in fan theories, or it can manifest itself in people like projecting a personality onto her or something and not liking her because of that. I don't know. What do you think?
What do you think, Madeline?
Interesting. Well, I mean, this is a conversation that we've had a million times on Evolution of a Snake, because it's part of why we even started Evolution of a Snake in the first place. Or actually, I don't know. Was it? Or was it just we want to do it for fun? And then as time went on, we started to realize that kind of a trend where it's like, oh, you're not supposed to say that. We're like the only people who are doing stuff like that. Everybody else is being like overly praising. I do think that it's been like a theme in the Taylor Swift fandom for a long time, because it's always been like so completely linked with like her as a person, and like the brand is Taylor is the brand, the parasocial relationship is the brand. So like the parasocial relationship, she's my friend, that's not conducive to I'm going to critique you as an artist and a creative and not as my best friend in the whole world. That's always been an issue since day one. Seriously.
I agree
and
with you.
I've been a foot soldier.
Mm-hmm. We've been doing it. I've been through. We had our cupcake phases. This is what people fail to realize. We didn't come out of the womb saying, Taylor, we don't like this song. Oh, no. We were doing the pylons. I was doing I Hate Katy Perry. Because of Taylor Swift. For that reason alone. I said, you crossed her. You're the devil. I said, Carly Kloss, you're the most interesting person in the world. Can you believe? I've never said that now.
Oh yeah.
But back in the day, always, I want to code with Klossy. I want a Klossy cookie.
I want a Klossy cookie.
And those Klossy cookies always looked like soil, freeze-dried astronaut food soil. That's what they look like. You Google Cook Carly's cookies and you see what I see.
I've actually never seen a Carly cookie.
They look disgusting.
I've never seen a Carly cookie.
Well, they're supposed to be healthy, blah, blah,
I've only heard tell. I have only heard tell of the Carly cookies. They're supposed to be healthy.
Oh, you're supposed to be healthy. That's the whole thing. Because she's a model. Well, don't you want to be skinny like Carly? Don't you want to code with Carly and be skinny like Carly and eat Carly's cookies?
No, I want a cookie. Thank you.
Well, last night I was giving my little Riverside talk, and we were talking. They asked me something about evolution of a snake, like how it got started and what our intentions were when we started it. And I had this memory. After Reputation, we really thought that Taylor was going to be taking a break and maybe stop doing music altogether. We thought that. Therefore, we came in and we were like, now we can do our retrospective on Taylor's entire career. That was actually why we started it. Do you remember this?
No, I don't want to remember.
That's why we started. Either. That's why we started that. And I think also at that point, it's interesting that, hearing what other people think about what Taylor Swift commentary and content creators is. I think when we started it in 2019, Taylor Swift commentators, Taylor Swift commentary wasn't a thing. There wasn't a bunch of people talking about Taylor Swift in any kind of way other than her fans doing fan behavior. There wasn't a critical analysis. Pitchfork hadn't even deigned to review her albums yet.
So think about that.
I think also we wanted to make sure that Taylor was taken seriously because it seemed for so long that no one had really cared about her artistry, and that was really our mission was to treat it with the respect that it deserves. And I think we got more critical over time, I suppose, but we were always saying this is a flop, that's a flop. I think we just didn't realize that we would be reaching people beyond our bubble, because eventually as we grew up with the fandom, our people are the same as us. They also think that Taylor does flop things and make fun of her and roast her lovingly. That was our community that we were in. So it was just as much a surprise to us when we found out that people didn't like that.
Yeah. It's crazy the way that to some communities we are the devil, we're saying the worst things about Taylor all the time. To other communities we are the biggest cupcakes you've ever seen, the biggest sicko fans. It just goes to show you, when you can't be tamed, you really can't be tamed. We're somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle.
The truth is always somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
People don't like it
when you get accused of being the biggest Taylor hater and the biggest Tay warrior, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
You're doing something right. You know what? Since we're going through just controversial take after controversial take, let's talk about another topic that I hate to talk about.
My name's Lillian, and I am actually so excited to tell you that I'm going to the DC stop of the Snares tour, so I can't wait to see you guys there. My Taylor Swift unpopular opinion is that I actually don't think she's being a bad friend to Blake Lively right now, because number one, I think that if Taylor Swift were to get involved, it would overshadow and sort of diminish the severity of Blake Lively's claims in the lawsuit. And secondly, in this time of Tay negativity that we have right now, I actually don't think that her support can do anything but bad things for Blake Lively's case, at least in the court of public opinion. Now, would this be great in a courtroom or in the industry if she would lend her support? I do think that that is true, but we don't know if that's happening or not, so I can't make any judgments on that. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Bye.
See you in DC, Diva. I want to clarify something, though, because I think the last time we spoke about this, what I meant by saying that Blake is kind of being, or Taylor is kind of being a bad friend to Blake right now, I don't mean that I think Taylor needs to come out and say anything or support her or do literally anything in public. In my view, she should just do nothing, play dead, just lie down and do nothing. What she did do instead was basically have Tree Paine go to the Daily Mail or whoever it was and say how pissed she is at Blake and how she's taking space from Blake and how X, Y, Z, the other thing, which was really kind of if your house is burning down, I don't want to be implicated in that. And the reason why I say that kind of gives bad friend energy is because of how much Taylor has talked about Blake and Ryan, their kids, everything, and how much they rode for her during the Reputation era when everybody was against her. And listen, I'm not a Team Blake, Team Ryan Reynolds. I find them to be annoying. But I do think that this is a very kind of classic Taylor thing to do. I mean, if it's not serving the brand must be protected at all costs. And I think that that might make you a good business person, but it kind of makes you a little bit of a bad friend sometimes.
I think it's interesting how we're saying we're in an era of Tay negativity. Who said that?
There is a lot of Tay negativity, I have to say. There is.
From
It's really
who?
scary.
I'm living
On
my
TikTok,
life.
they hate her.
See?
They hate her.
You see how it's the root of all evil? I don't know these things. I don't go on the app. You see that?
I've seen your Instagram reel
I'm
algorithm,
clean.
so please, the high and mightiness has to come
Clean.
down a notch.
I'm
Has to
clean.
come down
Listen,
a notch.
My Instagram reel algorithm is between me, myself, and the Lord. Okay,
And
that's
me.
all there is to it. And Zach,
me.
because he's always getting sent
forced
my
to bear
reels.
witness.
But no, I don't personally. I haven't been seeing a lot of Tay negativity. But in my defense, my Twitter timeline is curated. I don't follow new people. I'm not getting into that. I follow the same 600 people, and I have since 2019. So that's
That
not
ain't
changing. I go on the Discord. Oh, I love Taylor all day. That's all it said. I go on Patreon. I'm on my own Instagram. I'm doing this. I don't know nothing, and I like it that way. I'm happy because then I don't have to call into Phone a Snake and say, I think that Taylor's being a bad friend or whatever was said. I don't have to do that because I don't know. Because I don't know.
Well, what do you think? Do you think that it's like kind of bad friend behavior, or are you just kind of like indifferent about it?
My tea is that I feel like I know so little about it. Like all I really know is what I'm being told. I'm being fed information by who knows who at all times. And this is the kind of situation where it's like I feel like I've capped out on the amount that I'm going to comment on it. And I'm kind of silent about how much else I'm going to say until there's like major movements within
I agree.
the finer details of it. Like we have all talked about this ad freaking nauseum. It's been talked
I think we
out.
talked about this behind the paywall, and this is the first time we've talked about it in public, I want to say. And when we're behind the paywall, we do kind of just say anything. Like we're not doing our most thoughtful, thought through, other people are going to hear this take. So that's why I just wanted to reiterate what I said the first time, just to make it clear, like what the thought was. Again, as I always say, we don't know Taylor. We don't know her life. We don't know what's going on in her brain. We don't know what's transpiring behind the scenes. We can literally only deal with the minuscule scraps of information that we receive on the internet.
Is that an unpopular opinion, or is it only an unpopular opinion in terms of like people who hate Taylor? Like, because I mean, isn't
she's being a bad friend to Blake, or is the unpopular opinion that she's a good friend to Blake?
The unpopular opinion is that, okay, wait. So the unpopular opinion is that she's a good friend. The popular opinion is that she's a bad friend.
I haven't heard anyone else say she's a bad friend other than us, because I just saw the article and said, Taylor, what are you doing, girl? I haven't seen anyone else commenting on this, but again, we don't consume other Taylor Swift commentary, so I don't know what the other Taylor Swift commentators are saying.
I don't know what anybody else is saying. To be fair, I don't think I've seen a lot of commentary other than from the brain dead factions of the internet. They go, they get their microphone. I realize I have a microphone up on my face right now, but they're on the microphone. They're like, and you know what? Charlie XCX bought her number one.
Oh,
we don't know
yeah.
that. Where'd you get that
How
from?
do you know that?
Brain
How
dead. You made it up. You made it up. So there you go.
You made it up. Let's go to another unpopular opinion.
My unpopular opinion is that I am kind of sick of Taylor needing to be the monster on the hill, because as much as she talks about how much she hates it, she also talks about, I mean, obviously in Clara Bow, that she literally would kill herself if it meant that she could, be as famous as she is. And I'm kind of
she doesn't say that.
Because there really are a lot of things that Taylor's voice, Taylor's impact could help with. I mean, we have trans rights currently being on the chopping block. This last election, obviously she made like one post, but there were so many other things she could talked about. I don't want Taylor to be involved in politics, but also at the same time, there are certain things where it's like, how can you stand by and just let certain things happen? And so I'm kind of sick of her want or her need to be as famous as she is, clouding her judgment on things to talk about. So, yeah.
You see how she can't win?
Yeah, she can't win. She literally can't win. You can't be the monster on the hill. And then, but you have to be the monster on the hill. But then again, you also have to go to the iHeart Awards. But also, you can't go to the iHeart Awards. Also, you have to speak. But wait, you can't speak because they're gonna do a terrorist attack on the stadium. Oh wait, no, that's not true. We just made that up. This, that, and the other thing. You know what I mean? It's like, everybody just says stuff all the time. You noticing that?
To be fair, we ask people to call in and say stuff. We literally ask the
But
people
what I'm saying
to
specifically is
call
that everybody's saying stuff with no peer-reviewed essay behind them. This isn't a study.
That's true.
We don't know this for fact.
It's phone a snake. Well, what killed me about this message was she said she'd kill herself to be famous in Clairvaux. I said she never said that.
That was just a case of willful misunderstanding.
That was a figure of speech. Take the glory, give everything is the only part of that song where I can see where you would get that from, but that's not what she's saying, my dearly beloved. That is not what she's saying. She's not saying I would actually kill myself to be famous. And it's not, Clairvaux, again, is a lot more nuanced than just being about fame. It's not just about fame. It's about acclaim. It's about praise. It's about attention. It's about beauty. It's about youth. It's not just about being the monster on the hill. That's, I think, an overly reductive way to describe what that song is about.
I also kind of feel like these, comments about how, Taylor isn't speaking because she's going to lose fans if she does speak. It kind of makes me pause because, like, there are unfortunately, like, factions of the Taylor fandom now who I don't understand how there are Republican Swifties, but there are. Why?
They exist somehow.
How? There's not a lot of them. There's not a lot of them because, in my opinion,
fewer than there were in the day.
It's so clear what Taylor's opinion on. I understand she should say something, but it's like so clear to me what her opinion on like trans rights would be. Does anybody not know? Because like if there's people out there who don't know, that is a problem. But it's like I feel like there's no way on this earth that Taylor Swift is a transphobe. No way.
I think we also know at this point that having the liberal elite come down from their soapboxes and preach at people about what they should and shouldn't do actually doesn't really work or help anything.
No, and especially like the liberal elite, the coastal elite, the Hollywood minority, like all these kinds of talking points from the far right, like that kind of thing. I mean, it does bear some weight, especially because like there's such a belief now that everything is somehow being puppeteered and controlled, and like these people that are I know this sounds insane, but this is really how they think. These people like Taylor Swift, like Tom Hanks, like all these major famous people are like controlling the narrative of everything. I mean, I don't really know if I want Taylor to be
accused of doing that. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. And also I think you see this in so many areas, like people just don't trust anything. They don't take anything at face value anymore, which I think people think they're being smart by not taking things at face value, but really sometimes it's like you're doing QAnon behavior and you don't
what happens
even
all
know
the time.
it. Like I make a TikTok about how I think Selena's album is a mess, and so many comments are Hailey Bieber is behind this. Hailey Bieber paid for this. And I'm like, are you insane?
It's
people
constant.
Seriously, people accuse me of being paid by anyone all the time. They accuse Taylor of paying me. I was like, the only thing Taylor would ever pay me to do is shut the fuck up. That like, I would not.
And you know what? I would take that check. I would take that
exactly.
check.
If I got a Taylor check, it's like immediately because I'm cashing my Trump checks. If I had a Swift check, I would be taking it to the bank. I would be getting a new whip, and I would be shutting the hell up.
I don't understand.
But everybody wants to believe that there's a bigger plot going
Remember
on.
when they said we were getting paid to say Beyonce, Cowboy Carter, good? We were getting paid to say Cowboy Carter by Beyonce is good.
And it was a sincere question. They were asking us. They were like,
"Were you something like that, or just go along with the liberal elites and say such a thing just out of curiosity? Who's paying you?" We were like, "What?
What?
We're saying Cowboy Carter good." and it's not even it's not like we're calling her daddy. What's up, Snake Gang? Like, we're not doing any of that kind of stuff. So we're not making millions of dollars. Clearly, no. I'm not a freaking millionaire. So who's paying me? And why? Delusional.
It's a dangerous game when you start going, everyone that says something I don't agree with was paid to say it by an actor that is bad.
And it's a lot of people are thinking it, and it's on both sides. You used to be able to say it's the crazy far right, it's the QAnon. Oh no, the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni stuff, that is QAnon for liberals.
It is.
It is.
That's exactly what it is, and you shouldn't be afraid to say it. You should be, but it shouldn't be scary to say that because
you should be. Well, you should be. They're gonna get me.
Well, Gaylor and the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni thing is QAnon for liberals. Those two things are great examples of how disinformation and conspiracy theories are not ideological. I mean, they can be ideological, but you don't have to be a right-wing conspiracy theorist to fall for a train of thought.
You can get got, and it can happen at any time. Everybody watches the cult documentaries, and they say, that would never happen to me.
Couldn't be me.
Are you
But
sure?
You're saying that Taylor was replaced by a body double.
So ask yourself.
So it is you.
How did we get on this line of conversation? Oh, should Taylor talk about politics? Should she care more about being famous than about political stuff?
This is what happens when you enter into these conversations now. It's not like, I think people think that like celebrities coming in and using their powerful voices actually does anything. And I think at this point, it doesn't. It does more harm than good because people just immediately go to, you're being paid to say this, you have an agenda, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, how is that helpful to anyone involved?
No, it's definitely, and this is just
she'll get accused of making it all about herself, which she will, because that's the only way she knows how to do it.
We got 6 years left of civilization, so we got to start thinking real hard about what we want to spend our time talking about. Big picture. We got to start thinking real hard.
Debutation.
What do you really want to talk about?
Let's get back to debutation.
Yeah.
I want to hear debutation. All right. Well, you know what? Interesting, spicy opinions today. Why don't we finish with something a little lighthearted? I mean, it's not lighthearted to me, actually. It's deeply serious.
Hi, Snakes. This is my first time calling in. I'm new to the Patreon. It has been so fun over here. But my unpopular opinion is that I think Dress is one of Taylor's worst songs. And I skip it frequently.
Frequently, but not every time.
I mean, the lyrics are fine. They're not that bad. I think the bridge is okay. But I just think that musically, it's really not a good song. Like, it's really boring and bland when it comes to the instrumental of it. And it just doesn't hit the same way all the other Reputation tracks do. And honestly, if I'm being, like, completely honest, I think it should have been left off of the album. Yeah, it's my popular opinion.
Well, you confess. Here's the thing: is you confess that you listen to it and you stream it.
You know what that really gives me? When I'm making a video about someone, like I'll make a video and I'll say like Katy Perry 143 worst album of all time. Like I'll just do a throwaway comment and someone will comment, Katy Perry mentioned.
Admitted to listening. Admitted to streaming. Dress mentioned. Admitted to streaming Dress. Well,
you're wrong. You see, you're wrong about that. Dress, also to me, Dress is one of the production specifically highlights from Reputation.
Oh, say that. Yeah, I think it's a really interesting song. I really like it. I didn't always, really but I came around on her.
Minimal arrangement. Reputation's a pretty noisy record. There's a lot of like stuff going on, and Dress has this very like slinky, sexy, doomed, mysterious vibe to it that I think was only ever replicated on I Don't Want to Live Forever.
Who's on that son of a... Is that Jack or is that...
It's Jack. Oh, it's Jack, baby.
Okay, well,
it's Jack.
Let him
Antonoff.
Let
mouth
him cook.
Kissy.
Mouth
kissy.
It's coming any day now for you, Jack Antonoff.
We're going between. We're gonna kill you and we're gonna mouth kiss you.
Well, it's always he knows what he signed up for. He knows exactly what he signed up for, and it's the same with Taylor.
Devoted
it's the same with Lana. I mean, he knows exactly what he signed up for. But I think that to say it's one of her worst songs, I guess because it's a little bit different and she's kind of a different sort of a girl. I guess I could see why it would rub some people the wrong way. Same thing with False God. It's just different. There's nothing else like it in the discography. It's just different.
If you want to talk about songs that should have been left off of Reputation because they don't fit the sonic vibe of the rest of the album, then you have to look at Getaway Car. Yeah, you do. Unfortunately, you do. Because that's a 1989 song. I would never say that. I would never say Getaway Car off Reputation.
We're
but
not
if we're
saying
going by the barometer of it doesn't fit, then sonically, that's the one that sticks out.
And people don't want to hear that. No, they want to ask the girl who's minding her own business, not hurting anybody. Dress. You see how that works?
She's spilling wine in the bathtub, and here you are.
Right. I also
not
think
always
that
skipping her.
Dress's very close sister is actually Slut. I think that thematically, sonically, they're very, very linked. So if you like Slut, what's wrong with Dress? And I think we need to get this mashed up. But they won't do it. They're scared.
I think there's hope for you still, because as we know, Dress mentioned.
Dress mentioned.
You don't skip
You're
it every
still
time.
screaming it.
You don't
You're
skip
still
it every time.
It.
It's getting your coinage. So I think that we can all take a moment and appreciate that Dress, maybe just by your own admission, caller, is the greatest song ever made.
She admitted it, and we all heard it. So
everybody heard it.
Jot that
verbatim.
down. Yep.
Dress
you.
number one Taylor Swift song of all time. Thank you so much.
Hand heart up in the sky.
Well, Madeline, do you want to take a little minute to tell us maybe what's coming up on the Lizard Review this month? Anything that we should be excited for?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Well, as many of you may know, because I've been harassing you about it on Instagram, the video component has been added to Lizard Review. Is it going to be every single episode? Probably not. But I think for most episodes, you can pretty much guarantee that there's going to be a video. So you know what? If you walk yourself down to lizardreview.substack.com and you get yourself a little Lizard Review subscription, the next thing you know, you're watching 15-minute videos. That's a really good deal.
That's everything. Well,
that's
Madeline
everything.
YouTube channel mentioned.
Madeline YouTube channel in the future. Madeline YouTube channel
mentioned.
In the works. It was mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Madeline YouTube channel possibility.
We don't skip it every time.
I'm not skipping Madeline YouTube channel every time. Frequently, but not every time.
You can get a taste.
Yes.
You can get a taste of what that will eventually be like at the lizardreview.substack.com.
Delicious and amazing.
And you should also come to our tour. And if you don't,
you should
as
come
we
to our
told
tour,
you at the top of this episode,
right?
Bloody Death.
Lizard Review, tour. I mean, we've got it all. It's the media conglomerate.
Subscribe to Suitologist. Don't forget.
Et cetera.
Don't forget. See you soon.